When you log into the course, you come to the course home, and this has got a lot of vital information, a lot of due dates, what's coming up next, announcements, things like that. So you can go through and just click on stuff. There are no announcements right now. Most of the time you'll see something that says there's an announcement. This is your weekly calendar here in front of you. Nothing this week, but next week you can see you start having things due. We cover that here as well. Even though the pretest is not due until next Tuesday, you need to have it done way before then, or you are going to fall way behind, because that would only give you 2 days to cover all this stuff. Okay? So get busy today. As soon as you watch this video, take the pretest, do a couple of assignments. Just get started. Don't procrastinate. This is a link where you can view all assignments, but you know what? There's other places where we can do that as well. So just make sure you run your browser check. Watch the How to Enter Answers tutorial. It's a few minutes, whatever, 5-10 minutes, and it's well worth it for you to understand where to find stuff. It's worth the time. Here is your overall score and submission progress. So you've got a lot of things up here that kind of lays out where you are and what you've turned in and what your grade is, based on what you've completed. Obviously, you've been to the start here if you're watching the videos. How to proceed. This kind of lays out what you need to be doing. Browser check, syllabus, how to enter answers, click on the modules, and then module 1 has your pretest. Now I'm going to show you another way how to do this, but this is the process. You're going to go through each module, and then you just repeat it. Okay, but I'm going to show you a different way to find things should you choose not to print the notes. Okay, you may want the notes, you may not want the notes. It's up to you. All right, so here's the instructor information. That's me. Phone number, email. Email is my preferred method of contact. I will do my best to get back with you within 24 hours, and I usually do during the week. Weekends, I may be out of contact, so you may have to wait till Monday. I know a lot of y'all, when you do your work is weekends, but, unfortunately, sometimes that's when I'm off. So, but again, I will do my best to communicate with you, and I do pride myself on my communication, and any student that's had me will tell you that. The course documents, here is your syllabus. So you may want to print this. I mean, it kind of gives you, the processes, procedures, things like that, on how things go. So this tells you about the course. If you want more information, you can click on these links. You need to have high-speed internet access. You don't have to buy a book because everything's included in your course fee, but you do need to take the pretest by July 4th, or you will be counted as a no-show. Okay. Calculators, pretty liberal on what we let you use for calculators outside of your cell phone or computer. They're not allowed on proctored exams. What you want to do at home is your business, but you better make sure you have a calculator for the proctored exam, or at least know how to use it, because they will have them at the testing sites. But I should say most testing sites. But you want to be able to use your cell phone. So make sure you're used to using a calculator. You've got to score 60 or higher to pass the course. Doesn't matter what your average is, you must pass the final. You're here, so we don't need to talk about that. Attendance, if you're going to be missing something, if you're going on vacation, you're going to be away, let me know, so I don't wonder about what's going on with you. You should be spending, 10 hours a week in this class. Now, some of you are going to work quicker than others, but that's a good barometer. Watching the notes or watching the videos, doing the homework, taking quizzes and exams, it adds up. And so here's your module, and we'll talk about that here shortly, about what to do with those modules, what's contained in the modules. Your homework is 10% of your grade. You can work it past the due date, but there may possibly be a 10% penalty, but you can access it past the due date. Quizzes, you cannot. They're due when they're due. You get 3 attempts at each one. They're worth 10%, but if you don't make 80 after 2, you can't do the third one until you've done the supplemental instruction, okay, to kind of brush up on what you need to be brushed up on. There are 4 tests in this course. They're listed on the due date calendar and schedule here at the bottom of the syllabus. Final exam is not comprehensive. It's just a regular test, but it will be proctored. And, you know, I will give you 1 retake for an exam for technical difficulties, not because you failed it. It must be something that, you know, your computer locked up, kicked you out, wouldn't let you back in, something like that. But if you do 1, the second one you have to get proof, okay, that something happened. Okay, so make sure you're ready to take the test. I review all exams to give full and partial credit for certain things like, you know, incorrect entries of answers and just other issues. Exams are timed. Once you click on the exam, you must finish it. Here's our proctored exam policy. Okay, you can use notes on the final, whatever you want on the final, but you must score 60% or higher to pass it. Here's the supplemental instruction. Okay, if you score less than 80 on a quiz, you've got to do the supplemental before the 3rd attempt. You should not have late work, but sometimes it happens. And again, you can do the homework past the due date. You don't need to ask me. It just will be subject to a 10% penalty. If you miss a due date, you can I'll extend the deadline once, or if you just need a deadline extended, let me know. One time I'll do that. Here's your course grade. We've talked about that. Incomplete, better be something extremely drastic. Can't be just because I procrastinated and just didn't get stuff done. That's not good enough. So make sure you're keeping up with your work. Make sure you do your own work. I've talked about that on my intro video. Here's the date of withdrawal. The last date of withdrawal is August 2nd, but you can't take the final exam before August 2nd, then withdraw. So once you begin the final exam, you can't withdraw anymore. Okay, so just make sure you understand that. And you need permission from me after the 17th. Okay, so here's kind of your course outline, when things are due. And I've got that in another area right here, your due dates. If you want to print it, I've got it kind of set up here, and it's a little bit, you know, spaced out better. But that's when things are due. All right, so let's go back to the main menu. And here are the modules. You know, every module, and the first module has your pretest, but they all have your video notes that you can print, your homework, your quiz, your textbook, and your alternate link to videos. So you can certainly click on each module, go through this process. Okay. The other option is you can go straight to the homework, and this kind of just lays out the homework sequence for you. And you can certainly click on the module, and you'll see here's your videos, here are your assignment questions. So this takes you straight to the videos and the homework. The quizzes and tests have a separate link as well, or you can go from the homework and just do the drop down menu and click all assignments, and this gives you the sequence as to what's done in what order, when things are due, right down here. So as you can see, we do module 1, we have a quiz. Module 2, we have a quiz. We have reviews for the exam and then the exam. Then you move on to module 3, etc., etc. And as you can see, you know, there are no limits to the homework at all. You can get in there and you're not working the whole assignment again, you're just reworking what you missed. That's why there's no thing here for attempts. Okay, but there's 3 attempts for quizzes, 1 attempt for tests, and reviews. Since they are classified as a test, we had to put a number of attempts on there. Okay, so that's your option. So you can do either one. You can certainly follow the process for the modules, or you can just go to the homework. Now, as far as the final exam goes, there are review quizzes. When you're ready to take the final exam at your proctor, they will have the password, unless it's someone that's not a testing center. If it's not a testing center and it's a former teacher or, you know, other things that are acceptable, then they need to email me for the password. Here are your links if you're a BCTC student to the testing center, other KCTCS college, or we have ProctorU. If you have a webcam, about $20, You can take your test at home at your leisure. Okay, but you have to have a webcam, and it's, like I said, about $20. And you can go to the ProctorU website and you can find out what you need to do. Okay, look into it if you want to do that. All right, so that's all that. Here's your gradebook. This keeps track of what you completed, and your grade is based on what you've completed, not what you've not done. Okay, so if you miss stuff, your grade is going to be a little bit inaccurate. Here's a link to the book itself. These are the chapters we cover, not in this order. Okay, we actually start with chapter 5 and then we do 6. So we kind of go, not in order, but if you want to go right to the book, that's one way to get there. The multimedia library allows you to, have different modes of learning, whether you want a video, PowerPoint, animation, or the book itself. But you can get the book here. You can choose what chapter you want, what section you want, and if you want a PowerPoint, you can find a PowerPoint for that. Here's a link for tutoring. Here's tutoring if you want stuff within the class provided by Pearson, and we also have tutoring at BCTC. You can look and see, maybe what the tutoring schedule is for the summer. Okay. Back to the main menu. And lastly, if you need to drop the class, you read this. It gives you the instructions on how to drop, whether you're a BCTC student or not. Okay, so, that's it. I'm hoping that you do well, hoping that everything's clear to you. If not, send me an email if you need help with homework. One thing I kind of did not show you there, but I'm glad I remembered that. When you're inside a homework assignment, and if I choose to do a question, and I'm really stuck on this, okay, here's your media click, and there's also question help. There's Ask My Instructor, okay? You can go to the textbook, all right? Sometimes when you have more different types of problems, let me see if I can find one here, that require a little bit more work, you have more options. So you can do a help me solve this, view an example, the video, blah, blah, blah. So there's more choices, but Ask My Instructor comes to me, type something in there to what you're exactly having trouble with, okay? So, and I'm going to leave the page, and, I can go back and redo this at any time, okay? So there we go. So that's it now. Good luck to you. Make sure you just contact me if you have trouble.